So glad to be here today and share a really important topic with you. This topic is all about spiritual sales. And when we talk to new members of the group, and many of you who have been here for years, this is one of the topics that you most request. So I'm happy to share these resources with you today and help inspire you to step into a mindset and an embodied expression of spiritual sales, which can change the way that you do business. So, welcome to this topic, this Wednesday Live. And I'm so glad that you're here and that you're paying attention and that you're ready for more success in body and in business. And for those of you spiritual healers who are ready for more, you're ready for growth on the level of body and business, I have a special offer for you today, which I will share in our class. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited to share these details with you. So, first of all, we get a lot of requests for more information, resources, tools around how to make more money, how to attract more clients, how to reach those financial goals that you have. And first of all, I love these questions because it is a reminder that we need both. We need balance, both spiritually and materially. And this is a huge part of the dharmic path. If you are a householder, and everyone in this group is likely a householder, and what that means is that your dharma is of the world in the world. In other words, your dharma is not to be in a cave high up in the Himalayas meditating 24/7, and that is your service to the world. Each one of us here in this group, as a householder, we have special gifts and wisdom. They are passed through the lineage for the most part. And some of these gifts we brought in with us from previous incarnations. But the wholeness of our gifts and our offerings, this is what we're here to share. This is what our soul is compelled to share in this lifetime in order for our own evolution, but also in order to fulfill our duty, our mission, and also the contract with the ancestors. It's all part of your Dharma. And so that means that on a material level, we also need nourishment. It's not just soul level nourishment. And it's really important that we're clear on that we are not bypassing the very real material needs that are here. So if you are a householder, you need money. Bottom line, you must have shelter, you must have food, you must have clothing, and we also have other requirements such as connection, love, relationship, community, those other pieces that are vital as householders as well. So when we talk about having a successful dharmic business, a reminder that this is not about your career path. So there's a huge difference. And I just have to mention this because I think there are so many, and this is probably one of the biggest confusions I encounter with people. And even other Jyotishis, they talk about career path. We're not interested in a career path. If you want a career path, go work for someone else, go fulfill someone else's dream and be that body and that energy that can support someone else's mission. Dharma is something unique to your soul, and it is about your unique gifts and the purpose of your soul. And that's a very individual, unique thing. That is, it's like a thumbprint or a fingerprint. There's one of you. And when that mission, that desire within your own soul is not fulfilled in this lifetime, it will be very malnourishing to your soul. And in fact, from a Vedic tradition, it's understood that if you don't fulfill your mission in this lifetime, you are guaranteed to come back and have to repeat the cycle over again. I don't know about you. I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound appealing to me. It doesn't sound interesting at all. And it's one of the reasons why finding Dharma and knowing what soul contentment, soul satisfaction is in this lifetime has been such a driving force in my life. And it's one of the things that for me has felt like life or death. Why be here if I wasn't feeling fulfilled, sharing my gifts and wisdom in this world, and making money doing what I love? And from a Jyotish perspective, we look at that. Can this soul, can this individual, this human being share their dharma, their gifts, their wisdom in this world and make money doing it? Because again, from a Vedic perspective, this is really the highest and most auspicious way to live dharma, is when there's that harmony between the spiritual and the material realms, that there isn't an inner conflict going on somewhere, that you're pulled in two different directions. And we see that a lot. And maybe some of you are even going through this right now, where you're working for someone else, doing something that's not very fulfilling to you. It's not fulfilling your soul or your passion or your creativity. And it's draining. And as a result, you're not, you may be making money, right? It may be paying the bills, but the soul nourishment is lacking. Now, some of you may be in the other category where you're already sharing your gifts and your wisdom as a healer, as a wisdom worker, as a teacher or a guide or a coach, some level of healing and guidance that you're already sharing. And yet you're still not fully content. And you may be feeling burned out. And the body is saying, no, no, stop. Something needs to change. So, whatever category you're in, this class is for you particularly. Whether you're ready to make the leap and fully commit to sharing your gifts and wisdom in this world and doing what it takes to create a successful offering, as well as create a successful business, make the money that really nourishes you spiritually and materially, or you're already sharing your gifts and wisdom, but something's missing and the body is saying, ugh, no, this isn't working. And yes, I would like to make more money, but physically it doesn't feel possible. This class is for you because there are some rules and some structures and some very important awareness to have in your body mind in order to create a successful dharmic business. And this means spiritual and material success. And of course, everything that I teach and share is rooted in body and body wisdom. So if we are to have a successful offering, a successful dharmic business, if we are to create material world success, if the body is not on board with that, then it doesn't matter how much money you create or how much you're doing, it won't lead to soul satisfaction. And these are the women I meet constantly. And this is where the restructuring has to be done. Because if the body's telling you no for some reason, we need to listen to that. And it's the old adage, your biggest wealth is actually your health. And so we must consider the needs of the body as you continue to scale and grow and expand your material world success as well. So that's what we're here to talk about, is the both. And it's really a this end, spiritual and material world success. So how do we do that? And first of all, let's acknowledge that just like it's spiritual and material world success, there are also inner factors at play and outer factors at play. Now, as I share our class today, I want to invite you to consider what category you're really working with. Some of you have been doing immense inner work for many, many years. And if you haven't checked out my visibility class, I want to invite you to go check that out. That class reminds you what happens when we only work with the lower chakras and the themes from fourth chakra and below. Necessary work, but not going to support you in scaling a 6+ figure business. We have to be mindful of the visibility piece. But there's always an inner component and there's always an outer component. There's a spiritual component and there's a material world component, because we are both. As human beings, we are both. We are spiritual beings having a material world experience. And so your business is the same. And again, I'm speaking to dharmic businesses. This does not apply to a career or any old business. This is specifically for those of you who want to or who are already sharing your spiritual gifts, your soul gifts and wisdom in this world. That's what we're talking about today. So, identifying, is this an inner issue or is this an outer issue, or is it both? So I invite you to consider, where are you right now in your body and your business? And what's the real challenge here? What's not working for you? And go ahead and comment, type into the comments below, and let's start to get an idea of what is this challenge that's not working for you. Now, here's the thing. I mean, people come to me and I get it in our messages all the time. Every day, someone's saying to me, I need more clients. Now, I hear you that on some level, you believe that you need more clients and more money. But I invite you to get curious about that. So that's the surface level issue. What's the real underlying issue? Is this an internal blockage? Or is this some sort of structural issue where you have gaps in your business structure? So hold this question and pay attention to this as we go through the inner issues and the outer issues, and notice, where are you right now? So the inner issues that I encounter, and again, this is for those of you who want a 6+ figure spiritual business, a dharmic business that is rooted in your soul gifts, but also honors the nourishment of your body. So there's balance here. So first of all, is this a fear of success or a fear of failure? So fear of failure, this fear, and some of us have these experiences where we failed in the past, and the fear is, what if I fail again? So that's very real, and it's not that fear of failure doesn't happen for most of us, but in my experience, for most gifted spiritual women who are extremely gifted and creative, it's actually a fear of success that's more in the way than fear of failure. And fear of success looks like, I'm afraid that this success means I will lose something else. So ask yourself, is this a fear of success or a fear of failure? Fear of success sounds like, what will I lose? If I become really successful, there's going to be a loss. It's going to equate to a loss on some level. Fear of failure is, I've had this experience in the past, or someone in my lineage has had this experience in the past, and I'm afraid that this could happen again. But I also encourage you to notice where that fear of success is rooted in there as well. And usually this is because when there's been success in the past, there's also been a loss. So pay attention to those two. And this is about your grief work. So there is no expansion without cleaning out the pipes and supporting digestion and release of all the emotion, all of the loss, all of the disappointments that you've experienced. So we have to do our grief work. This is also about set points of success. And this is about your ancestral work as much as this lifetime. So really knowing where these set points live in your body, but also where the set points are in your lineage and in your family system. What is allowed? What kind of success is allowed? What types of success are allowed by the tribe of origin and what is not? For many of you, stepping into a 6+ figure spiritual business is going to go against the set points of your lineage and your tribe of origin. And this is where part of that fear of I'm going to lose something if I become more successful, more nourished. So pay attention to where those set points are. The other thing that is absolutely vital when we talk about upgrading, expanding, stepping into more nourishment, vitality, visibility, empowerment, and that's part of success, the ego identity shift that must take place. Otherwise, we go back into these old set points. So the ego identity shift is essential, and to really understand that there is no way to grow or step into this new way of being without an identity shift. You cannot be the same person and feel the same way in your body if you want something different. So pay attention to, are you allowing, are you supporting, are you feeding this ego identity shift that is necessary in order for you to become a new sense of self, a new identity, a new feeling in your body. So those are the inner considerations. Notice where the needs are for you right now in order for you to upgrade, in order for you to expand and become more successful. And remember, it's always going to be inner work, but let's also honor the structural shifts, the structural pieces at play for why you have not become more successful or gathered more clients. And it's not just this inner block stuff, okay? Because most of the women I meet, and you're a healer, you've been doing your healing work, and there's no doubt, I'm sure if we had a conversation and I asked you questions, we'd find some shadow work that's not being attended to. But for the most part, and this is very typical among wise, gifted healers who really know what they're doing and they have an amazing offering, they're just not business savvy. And like me, you have to learn how to run a business. I did not know anything about running a business over a decade ago when I started sharing my gifts and wisdom. I've had to fumble for the last decade. I've spent hundreds and thousands of dollars. I've done the math, and by this point, it's well over $200,000 that I have spent on investing in my business, investing in myself, investing in tools and solutions and coaches and all the healing and all the education and all the certifications. And I can tell you that there are some things that you must have in place in order to run a successful 6+ figure business. And if you want to scale beyond 6 figures, if you want to scale, I mean, what about a 6-figure month? If that's what you're working towards and that's what you need for nourishment, these are the things you have to have in place. So it's not that our inner work won't come into play, and I always tell my clients, be on top of your personal mythology, because every time you up level, you will meet this part of yourself again, again, again. And if we can know thyself, then it's like, oh yeah, there's that part of me again. But for the most part, and for many of you this will be the case, it's the structural issues in your business that are not rock solid, and you don't have the right systems and structures in place. And this is impacting your finances, it's impacting your revenue, your cash flow, your ability to attract new clients, and how nourished your body feels, because you are burned out. And that is a clear indication we have to restructure. Something is not working here. So there are a lot of different pieces, but I'm going to give you the structural pieces that you must have in place in order to scale 6 figures and beyond. First of all, the biggest reason I see this is your offer it's an improper offer. It's just an improper offer. It doesn't solve the client's problems, or it solves a problem, but it doesn't give them the real solution they're looking for. The second thing is you don't even know who your ideal client is. You're trying to help everyone, and you're not being specific enough, and you don't know who your ideal client is. And a very, very simple technique from a dharmic perspective is that your ideal client is you. So if you don't know yourself and you are not inside and out so on top of your own personal mythology, you don't know who your client is. So first we know thyself, then we can offer to the ideal client, who is us. And that's a dharmic perspective, a dharmic business perspective. The next thing is improper pricing. Man, I see this all the time. Tell me what your pricing is, and I will tell you there is no way you can get to 6 figures and beyond and be nourished in your body with that pricing. And so 9 times out of 10, you're going to tell me your pricing and the lack of structures you have in place, and I'm going to say, whoa, no wonder you are burned out right now. So proper pricing is vital. And this does not mean lowering your prices or giving discounts. The way that I teach this is very specific to legacy, lineage, and making sure that you are truly nourished inside and out. So pricing is vital. The next piece is often about marketing. Improper marketing, no marketing, expecting people to come to you. Oh, I see this all the time, especially with healers. Again, doing all that inner work. But when it comes to a bold ask, reaching out, gathering your people, silence. And when I ask, what kind of bold steps have you taken lately? I get blank stares. What do you mean bold steps? So if that's you, we got to talk. Your marketing is essential. Improper marketing will keep you invisible. How do you expect clients to find you or connect with you? A business based strictly on referrals is not a solid game plan. So you must have proper marketing in place. And if you don't have the proper channels open and you don't know how to move people through your process, you will not get the clients or the revenue that you're hoping for. And the next piece, and this is why there are poor sales, and when you say to me, I don't make enough money, One of the first questions I want to ask you is, what's your relationship with sales? What is your relationship with sales? Do you consider yourself a good salesperson? What does that look like? And if there's any ickiness or resistance around that, then there's work to be done. And that might be an inner piece, but it also might be you just don't have the proper structure in place for what a sales system looks like. And once you get that in place, it's like, oh, I just move people through this process and it feels good to me and I'm okay with this. So the asking for your needs to be met is a huge part of this. Spiritual sales is specifically about making sure that there is reciprocity, that your entire sales process from start to finish is about making sure your needs are met and the client's needs are met. And that you're working with people who are an amazing fit and that you have a process in place to ensure that you're attracting those individuals who not only will benefit from your offerings, but at the same time continues to support and nourish your goals as well. So there's always reciprocity here. And the way that we do that is to make sure that sales feel good to you, that it's as normal as having a conversation. It's as normal as having a conversation. And if you need to work on that, that's something to know. Like, I'm not good at sales. That's probably going to impact my ability to make money and gather new clients. Know that about yourself, and let's make sure you get the resources and the support you need around that, because that could be the block right there. And the final piece is there's no investing in yourself or your business. So this is a question I'm inviting you to really land in right now. What investing are you doing currently in making sure that your business is successful? What have you done? What kind of investing have you done to ensure that you are successful in your business? Now, some of you are really good at investing in your body or your spiritual tools or even having a support team. But the missing piece is you haven't invested in your business specifically. So that's a really important one. Your business is going to continue to require investment year after year after year after year. And every phase of my business has required a new level of investing. And that is, that's part of the goal that I have financially, because I know I have to give back to my own business in order to continue to see it grow and thrive. And I invite you to consider that in terms of your own well-being, but also the well-being of your business. Are you taking care of your business? Are you investing in the success and thriving of your business? And I think of our spiritual businesses like a body itself. Like a body itself. And that's why when we go to talk about creating an effective offering, I explain it like creating the vertebrae of your offering. And some of you are missing an effective vertebrae on all levels. That includes the offer, the pricing, who your ideal client is, the marketing, the funnels, the systems, the channels in place, becoming effective at sales and lead generation, and investing consistently in yourself. And if you already know that you have inner work to do, but you also have the very real outer work, the structural pieces that are lacking in your business and your offering, and you know that you need an upgrade, both internally and externally, for body and business, then this offer is for you. Most of you have already heard about my Dharma Foundations course, and I created this over 7 years ago. This was my original offering. I noticed that my clients had some huge gaps in the way that they were working with Dharma and creating their Dharmic businesses. And some things that felt really simple to me were not clicking for them. So I created this foundational offering so that it could be easier for them. And that's the Dharma Foundations course. We've added to it, we've enhanced it, we've given it more resources and tools to provide you with amazing success. And we have some special bonuses for you right now because this offer also includes some live coaching, accountability coaching. It starts next week and it runs for 7 weeks. This 7 weeks of accountability coaching starts next week. So jumping into Dharma Foundations, the Dharma Foundations course right now gives you all of these resources we've talked about today, the inner and the outer, making sure that you have what you need in place to have a solid dharmic offering. And internally, you're doing your work. Externally, you have the systems, structures, and foundation in place to create that 6+ figure business foundation. And you're doing it in a way that also nourishes your body. So we move you through, this is self-paced modules, and every week you'll have accountability coaching and training with Payal. We're also throwing in this week only, so just be mindful that you'll need to jump in now because the training does start next week. And if you want to get in with the accountability coaching and not miss any of this, you've got to join now so that you can start with the group. So accountability coaching for 7 weeks is added to this process. And there'll also be a Jyotish chart. We'll pull a Jyotish chart for you so you have an accurate chart. As long as you have very accurate birth data. And there's also an extra accountability session added in with Payal as well, who is my co-coach. She's an amazing resource and guide. You'll have lifetime access, of course. And there will be many resources added along the way. So if you already know this is your time, you need support, you need to refine this inner and outer work, get your structures in place, make sure you have a solid foundation. This Dharma Foundations course is for you. You have lifetime access, but you also, when you jump in this week, you'll also get that 7 weeks of accountability coaching with Payal and a private session with her as well. And that will support you in every step of the way and keep you on track so that you get the job done and that your intentions and your goals are met in this process. So I'm going to post the link to this Dharma Foundations course inside this video for you. And for those of you who want the details, go ahead and type success into the comments. Type success into the comments. I will personally follow up with you via Messenger. We'll refine if this is the right offering for you, and we'll get you started. And I'll answer any questions that you have. So go ahead, type success below. I'll follow up with you today and we will get you signed up for Dharma Foundation so that you are on time to start next week with accountability coaching with Payal, your amazing guide, and get in on all the extra bonuses as well. And I don't want to forget that we're also offering a very limited time discount for those of you who jump in this week. So make sure you jump in now and type success below, and I'll see you there. I'm excited to share this amazing course with you and make sure that your spiritual sales process inner and outer, is super solid, and you have everything that you need to scale and build that nourishing 6+ figure dharmic offering. See you soon.